Hey guys, welcome to the first official episode of Tea-scovery with me, Sasha Kolomitsev, and in this episode, does water really matter? For more Tea-scovery videos, subscribe down below. In this episode, we're going to start off at looking at why you should be using filtered water rather than tap water. Then we're going to move on to this. Most of you are going to think that this is some sort of joke, and I assure you this is not. I'm 100% serious. Water does make a difference, and if you want to get the best tea that you possibly can, you really should pay attention to what you're putting in your cup. So which water is best? Well, the best type of water is the water that extracts all of the right chemicals from your tea leaf and gives you the best flavor. So there has been some scientific research into this sphere, and so far they have shown that the best water to use is going to have a low bicarbonate content and a high magnesium content, and this should extract all of the flavors that you want. Now, other research has actually suggested that what you should be worrying about is the pH value. So you should be trying to keep your water as neutral as possible, and so using a water with a pH value as close as possible to 7 is optimal. Personally, I think you should be concerned about the kind of chemicals that are in your water because ultimately they're going to affect your flavor. So which water should you be using for your tea? So let's start off with tap water. The problem with using tap water is that it contains chlorine. And chlorine is a harsh chemical, it has a harsh smell, and it's going to cover up a lot of the notes and flavors that you get from tea. So what you're really going to be doing is you're going to be paying a lot of money to get tea with as many notes as possible, and then you're going to be covering them up by using poor quality water. And that's just plain wasteful. So I guess the next option to look at is filtered water. This is something that a lot of us have. You can get it simply by buying, say, a Brita, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but one of those filtered jugs, which is going to get rid of the chlorine flavor. And I think that this is going to be the best option for most of us. It's probably the most economical, and it's the easiest to achieve. The problem with using a filter is that while you're going to get rid of some of those chlorine notes, so you're going to be able to taste your tea a lot better, you're still going to suffer from the same problems as when you use tap water. And the reason for this is that tap water is going to vary in hardness from place to place and from day to day even. And so that's going to alter the flavor of your tea. And so you're never really going to know what you're going to get. That's why I'm going to be looking at using bottled water, because it's going to help you achieve a consistent flavor. But of course we need to accept the fact that it is quite wasteful and it does get pricey if you're drinking tea on a day-to-day basis. The interesting thing with using bottled water is that they all have different minerals dissolved in them because they've come from different locations and they've been extracted in different ways. And this is going to interact with the tea, and it's going to affect how the flavors are extracted from the tea. So that's why I'm going to investigate. I'm going to try and look at which bottled water creates the best flavor. Now, I have already tasted the water in little shot glasses. I know this isn't a joke, I'm actually being serious. Some waters actually taste better than others. I found that the Tesco's own brown water was quite acidic in flavor. The Highland Spring, which a lot of you may have seen, I noted is very light with almost no minerality, so it was very flat on the tongue. The Voss was very similar in flavor. It was very flavorsome. It lacked that minerality. Evian was, I noted, slightly sort of earthy, with a very slight dryness. And finally, Volvic, I said, was duller and heavier without the same aftertaste as most of the others. From my very quick research, I think that Volvic actually contains the most minerals dissolved within it. So it'll be interesting to see how all of these actually interact with the tea. So to compare them, I'm going to be using a black tea, a Key Moon. I'm going to be steeping it in the same amount of water at the same temperature for the same amount of time, and then I'm going to taste them and I'm going to see which one tastes better. So having tasted the teas, I'm actually incredibly surprised. I really didn't expect a massive difference. In fifth place, and my least favourite water to use, was the Tesco's own brand Ashbeck Natural, I think it's mineral water. And what I found is that it produced a very acidic flavour. It was by far the most acidic of the lot, and it seemed to make the tea quite bitter. It brewed it very quickly, oddly enough. I don't know the science behind it, but definitely my least favourite. In fourth place, I would actually say, is the Volvic water. It's also quite acidic. It's got a very high mineral content, and you can really taste that. It does leave a slight acidic taste on your tongue, a slight metallic taste, and I think it does cover up some of the notes of the tea. In third place is the Highland Spring water. So with the Highland Spring, it was the darkest of the lot. It was actually quite good for astringency, so it didn't make the tea as bitter as the Volvic and the Ashbeck, Tesco's own brand, and I actually did quite enjoy it. In fourth place is the Voss water. The Voss water was quite light. It did have a bit of minerality to it and a bit of acidity on the finish, but overall it was very good. But I think one thing you have to bear in mind is the cost. It's priced extortionately, and I really don't think it's sustainable to use this to steep your tea every single day. And in first place we have Evian. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but what I found is it was light. It was very distinctive to all the others in that actually when you drank it, it actually had quite a sweet flavour, which was very odd because I've never tasted water side by side before. So I'd never really realised that water tastes as different as it does. And Evian in this taste test is my favourite, as it gave the tea a very sweet flavour, and it had almost no minerality, which was nice because it didn't interfere with the flavour. And when you finished the tea, it didn't leave that sort of same dryness and acidity as the other waters did on your tongue, which was really nice for me personally. So that's my list, guys. Obviously, this is very subjective. There could have been slight inconsistencies in my experiment, and so this isn't a definitive guide, but I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy the Evian, and before you ask me, no, this wasn't in any way sponsored, but for most of us, buying Evian water on a daily basis probably isn't going to be the best option. I would probably still recommend using a filter, which is what I do. Most of the time, you're still going to get great tea. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative. This is by no means a definitive scientific guide. This is just one person's opinion. And so try this at home. Tell me what you think, tell me what you find, and let me know in the comments below. But guys, I really recommend you give this a go so that you can really see what a difference water can make. So guys, subscribe down below for more Teascovery videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!